Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and today I want to talk about something that's kind of been heavy on my heart lately, and that is how your potential can intimidate others. And I want to talk about some signs to look out for, and also how you can learn to step into your own authority by being your most authentic self. And if you're not already, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you know when I drop a video. So do you guys remember the movie The Matrix and the character Agent Smith, which was basically this AI that was programmed into the Matrix to get rid of anyone or anything that made anyone aware of said Matrix? Because anyone who became aware of the Matrix would then realize they were in a fake reality. They were basically there to control everyone's perception. They were there to keep people in line so that they don't wake up. Some of y'all have friends who are like that. Some of y'all have Agent Smith friends, not even friends, also family, co-workers. These people are knowingly or unknowingly manipulating your self-perception to keep you from becoming aware of your own potential. This is something I had to learn very early on in life, that you may not have a lot of money, you may still be in school, you may not have a relationship, you may not have anything super aspirational going on, just living life like real regular. And there will be someone around you who is shaking in their boots, shaking, not because of who you are right now, but because they see who you have the potential to be. And a lot of people who are very insecure and are secretly in competition with you, they do not want you to discover that you're really that girl or that guy. And that's because they're simply intimidated by you. And people who are like this, they're never gonna go after like Kylie Jenner or somebody that they know who is already successful. Because trying to manipulate the self-perception of somebody who has already achieved something or has a good sense of self, it's not going to work out well. They're going to look at them like, do you know who I am? 9 out of 10 times, these Agent Smith type people are going to go after people who are, one, close to them, and people that they feel like they're on the same level with. And that's because when you've gone to school with someone, you grew up with somebody, you work in the same position as someone, that proximity can make people who compete with others feel like you're starting out on the same playing field. They feel like you are cut from the same cloth as them versus somebody who is like a celebrity or someone they don't know or somebody who has already kind of blown up and made it. Now, my first sign that somebody is intimidated by your potential is that they will criticize you anytime you display any type of self-expression. Now, these people will be critical of you in general. They will always find something wrong with you. If you got a pimple, they're going to point it out. If you got a stain on your shirt, they're going to point it out. If you have a dent in your car, best believe they're going to point it out. They are very focused on anything that can be considered a flaw with you. Because remember, they're intimidated by you. So they need to look for things that they feel like can bring you down a peg. But outside of just being generally critical of you, anytime you show any type of self-expression that really like shows your talents or your uniqueness or your true personality, they will have a visceral reaction to that. They will always think you're cringe. Anything that shows your true personality, they're going to make fun of it. If you laugh at somebody's joke, they're going to make fun of your laugh and mock you. If you go to the club with them, they're going to make fun of the way you dance. If you play a song that is not something they like, they're going to make fun of your music taste and they're going to call you weird. They're going to make it very known that something is wrong with you, that you are weird. Even though you're not doing anything that's weird, just you being yourself, there's something wrong. Don't do that. They're going to shame you, and they're going to make sure they do it in front of other people as well because they want to embarrass you. And shame is a very powerful emotion that people use to control others. And essentially what they're doing is they're policing your behavior. And that's because when people start to feel comfortable with being themselves, they start to act a little bit more outgoing and free around people. They're starting to figure out what they like. They're going through that whole process of self-discovery. For people who are very intimidated by you, that is even more intimidating for them because there's a lot of authority in being authentic. Think about it. There are some public figures out there that a lot of people don't like, and maybe you don't like, but don't you still kind of low-key have respect for people who just stick to who they are? Like, they are just always consistent no matter what. Even if they're a horrible person, you're like, I can't even be mad at them because they've always told us who they are, right? And that is because there is this unconscious respect that you give to people who are very authentic, whether you like them or not. Humans are really good at picking up on whether somebody is authentic or not. It's really hard to fake authenticity because it is an energy. And even when people can sometimes fake it, they're usually sociopaths. And there will always be a small population of people who's like, I don't know about this person. Like, they can't fool everyone. So a person who is constantly criticizing your self-expression is actually really intimidated by you. And that's because they either have built up such a facade of who they actually are and they're terrified that somebody is going to find out. And a lot of times people who have like a big facade, they really don't like authentic people because they feel like authentic people can kind of sniff them out and they don't want to be caught. Or maybe they don't know who they are, and seeing somebody kind of know who they are or freely express themselves just kind of pisses them off because they feel like they're almost trapped inside their own bodies. And so when they see someone else being free, it's like, well, if I can't be free, neither can you. Another sign that someone is intimidated by your self-expression is if you start to just kind of act like a dud and like go along with the program, you have no opinions, you're dressing like everybody else, you're just kind of like being an NPC around them or around your group. As to before, maybe they were picking out every single flaw about you. Now they seem like really mellow and chilled out. That's because they've put you in your place. Now you have a pimple on your face. They don't say anything. Maybe you have a stain on your shirt. They're not going to point it out. And that's because they've dimmed your light. You are going along with the program. You have now been officially put in your place. And so they don't have to deal with you. So there's no need to constantly attack you. But beware, because anytime people like this have that nice phase with you, it is short-lived. Before you know it, they will be back to their old ways of criticizing everything you do. Another sign that somebody is intimidated by your potential is that they will undermine all your achievements. Anything you achieve, any kind of accolade is always going to be downplayed. There will always be an excuse as to why you achieved something. They'll say, oh, well, you only got hired at that place because you're pretty and the manager thinks you're cute. Or, oh, your boyfriend lives with you, so he pays half of the bills. Of course you can go to the gym and lose that weight. There will always be a reason as to why you accomplish something, but it will never be because of your talents or your intelligence or your hard work. You can never be any of those things. It'll always be some other phenomena as to why you achieved something. Another way that they'll downplay your achievements is just by making everything seem like it's not a big deal, even if it is. Like, they'll say, oh, you got a promotion. Oh, well, you're not going to be an executive, right? You're only going to be a manager. I heard the executives make a bunch of money. Like, that would be really cool if you got that position. Like, they'll always just make it seem like what you've done is like, okay, like, oh, you got a house? Oh, how many bedrooms is it? Oh, it's only 3 bedrooms? Oh, okay. Well, most people in that area have like 5-bedroom houses. Don't most people have like pools in their backyard? Like, you should build a pool in your backyard. Like, it's just always like close but no cigar. Or for example, I know a lot of people who do like acting and movies and whatnot, and they'll say something like, oh, well, you got on that TV show. Well, you only have 1 line. Like, so basically you're still an extra, you know, you're not like a main character. It's not that big of a deal. Like, they'll just always downplay everything you do. Or another way that they constantly downplay your achievements is even if they do congratulate you, if it doesn't kill them, they will just never show any big emotions towards your good news. They'll never clap for you. They'll never be like, oh my gosh, congratulations, or like give you a hug or be like, wow, that's so cool. They will never show any major emotions to you. So in your mind, you will be thinking what you did was really not that extraordinary, even if it was. They basically will always act like they're never impressed with what you do. Like, everything is like, oh, cool. Oh, okay. Oh, great. You know, or if they even acknowledge, right? And that's because they don't want to give you any positive reinforcement. They don't want you to see this positive reinforcement from them. because then that will motivate you to go after more. That motivates you to keep going. When we tell our friends and family the good things that have happened to us and they give us compliments or they tell us that they're proud of us, that motivates you to go do more. That motivates you to keep going. But remember, these people are intimidated by you, so they don't want you to keep going. They want you to stop. And so they'll make everything seem very insignificant because they just want you to feel like you're not making any progress. They don't want you to think like what you're doing is important, or they don't want you to think that you got the ball rolling. They want you to be discouraged, to just give up. Because imagine if you're working hard and doing all these things and half of the people around you are just like, oh, okay, like it just doesn't matter. That's going to discourage you, because then you're going to start to question, well, dang, like, am I in the wrong industry? And what am I doing something wrong? Like, maybe this isn't such a great idea. They're trying to put doubt in your head. Another sign that somebody is intimidated by your potential is that they are afraid of you being seen. And what I mean by that, any situation where you're going to be in a place of high visibility or people are going to start paying a lot of attention to you, they will try to stop it, or they will be very uncomfortable in those situations. For example, say you're friends with this person and that friend has another friend group. They will never introduce you to that friend group. Or if they do, they will make very sure that you never get close to those other friends. And that's because they want to limit your visibility. They don't want you to become friends with other people who aren't intimidated by your potential, who maybe want to help you, who maybe will start to motivate you or appreciate you more, because they don't want other people to discover how cool you are, how talented you are. They don't want other people offering you connections. And they also don't want you to discover how likable you are and how cool other people think you are. Remember, they're literally like an Agent Smith. They're trying to keep you trapped in this matrix and make you feel like nobody likes you, or like you're just not that significant, or nobody would ever really want to be your friend like that. So they have to keep you away from other people, and they will try. They will be very possessive of you sometimes because they don't want you venturing out. It's almost like a hostage situation. Like, remember Rapunzel in the movie, how like the witch kept her up in the tower? And that's because the witch was feeding off of Rapunzel's hair. She was feeding off of her light, her energy, and she was keeping it for herself because she never wanted Rapunzel to leave, because then Rapunzel would actually figure out, number one, that she was kidnapped, but also who she actually is. It's like as you dim yourself to be around this person, as they continue to discourage you and you lower your energy because they make you feel so bad about yourself, that energy has to go somewhere. So they feed off of you in this like parasitic relationship where they tell you you're not good enough, where they make you feel insignificant, where they downplay everything you do, and you go, you start to wilt, and then they suck up all of your light and all of your potential for themselves. It's actually quite scary. Another way that they become afraid of your visibility is if you work together, they will never give you credit. If there's some type of project that's going to put you in a position to be celebrated or that's going to show off your talents, they will never tell you about it, or they will make sure you never get it. Anything that is going to lead to you being celebrated by others, they want no parts of it. And if they can, they will try to gatekeep those opportunities from you as well. And they will also even typically either not come to your birthday or, and this is something I learned, show up very late to your birthday, because that's a way that they can try to steal back the attention on themselves. Because people like this, any kind of situation where you're being celebrated by lots of other people who are happy for you and cheering for you and giving you presents, they don't want to be there. But a lot of times they know they have to show up. So in some kind of weird way, they'll still try to make it about themselves without being so overt. And a lot of times what they will do is they'll show up extremely late for your birthday, or they will never confirm that they're actually coming until last minute because they want you thinking about them on your special day. They want to still try to steal that light from you. And lastly, another example I can think of, and I have content creator friends who have also experienced this, is when you start doing content, a lot of times people who are intimidated by your potential, they are very supportive in the beginning. They're under all your videos. They're like, oh my gosh, I love your stuff so much, blah, blah, blah. But once you blow up, you don't exist anymore. They don't like any of your stuff. They don't comment any of your stuff. They act like you don't exist. It's like you don't exist anymore. Sometimes they'll even unfollow you. But now that you're successful, now that you're big, it's like they don't see you. They truly try to act like they don't see you at all. You are non-existent. And that's because they didn't really support you. They were just really comfortable with that place that you were in. And now that you're maybe blowing up and you're coming into your purpose, and people are also discovering who you are, because this is the thing, they're very intimidated by other people possibly seeing who you actually are. They don't want other people to see who you are. They don't want you to find out who you are. And so becoming really big on social media in some kind of way, or getting on TV or something like that, that irritates them because it's that fear of your visibility. And I just want to say, if you are around somebody who is like this, you need to get away from them ASAP. This person does not want to see you win. They are a quintessential hater. They're probably jealous of you. And just like the Bible says, envy is crueler than the grave. It is so true. When somebody envies you, they are capable of doing anything to you, even murder. And how many people do we know get killed because someone was jealous of them? How many people are set up to get SA'd because somebody was jealous of them? And there's something especially cruel and insidious about someone who sees someone's potential, and instead of wanting to nurture it and see it flourish, decides they want to destroy it. It's like stepping on a flower before it blooms. There's something so nasty about that. And if you have people like this in your life and you can't get rid of them, maybe you work with them, you go to school with them, you're related to them, God forbid. Number one, you need to stop telling them your business. You need to stop telling them your dreams. You need to stop telling them what you like, what you want to do with your life. You need to stop telling them anything about yourself because they don't want to see you win. Secondly, you need to start drowning out these people's opinion of you. Somebody who acts like this is a deeply wounded person. They do not love themselves. They probably even hate themselves. And even though they are super critical of you, I can guarantee they are 10 times more critical of themselves. And when you can understand this about somebody, their opinions become really meaningless because you realize that they're just a hurt person. Like if you're walking down the street and some person just starts screaming at you and calling you names and, it's just like yelling and going crazy. Maybe they're throwing stuff. Do you ever really care when that happens? Like when you see someone who's like, homeless on the street, or they look like they're on drugs and they're just like screaming at you and doing all this crazy stuff. Do you actually ever get your feelings hurt by that? No, because that person is hurting. That person is not in their right mind. Their opinion doesn't mean anything to you. And this is how you have to walk around with people who are constantly trying to stifle your potential. The more that you work on self-validation, other people's opinions become less and less important. And if you don't have any type of spiritual regimen, I highly recommend it. I know for me, understanding who I am through God and having that validation of knowing that there's a higher power out there who created me, who made me unique for a reason, who gave me all these interesting gifts and talents to live out my purpose. When you understand that, you don't care what somebody says about you because the things that make you different are for a purpose. Like it's not by mistake that you were made to like that certain kind of music. It's not by mistake that your voice sounds that specific way. It's not a mistake that you like to be into film or you want to act, because that is something about you that was made differently from other people, because that's supposed to send you on your path. We have these differences for a reason. And for me, that's really all I need. I don't care what you have to say about me, because I know that I'm here to fulfill some purpose. And the things that make me different are the things that make me special. And those things that make me different are my strengths, and they're gonna help me walk on my life path. As you start to embrace the things that do make you different and love yourself and accept those things, and then even lean more into the things that make you unique, the more you will start to understand yourself better and love yourself better. And the thing is about getting to know yourself, getting to love yourself, Once you do that, once you start to understand who you actually are, it's so much easier to understand where you're supposed to be going. And I know for a lot of people who are younger and they just like have no idea what type of purpose they have in this life, or they don't understand what they're supposed to be doing, you have to get to know yourself more. And the only way you can get to know yourself is if you start expressing who you are. That is how you get to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you can know where you're going. Because if you think about life as a storybook, how can you know how to operate through the plot if you don't know what character you're playing? How are you supposed to know how you are contributing to this story of life, of the universe? Like, where do you fit in this world? You have to know who you are, and you have to express who you are openly to understand that. And that's why I find people who are constantly trying to police people's behaviors and stifle that self-expression, it's really evil in a sense. It truly is an evil thing to do, because you not only kill somebody's personality and their confidence and their ability to express themselves, but you also delay them being able to figure out their purpose in this life. The more authentic you become, the more authority that you will just naturally have, the more respect people will have for you, the more people will gravitate towards you, and the more you will understand your life purpose. Like, it's honestly so amazing. Like, truly, I know, like, it's so childish to just say, well, be yourself. But it's real. Like, people say that for a reason, because being yourself is so powerful. There is authority in authenticity. There is a natural respect that comes to people who are just themselves. Like, you ever just be around someone and you just know they're so comfortable with who they are? Like you can just feel it. Isn't it so attractive? It doesn't even matter. That's why a lot of people think like, oh, you have to be like a 10 out of 10 to like get all these guys or get all these girls. No, you don't. Do you know how many men, how many women like aren't that good looking, but they constantly have people, I mean, they gotta beat people off with a stick. It's because they're confident. They're resting in their self. There's this self-assurance about them. That is what is attractive about them. And that's why people are drawn to them regardless of how they look. Another thing to help to get to know who you are and to validate yourself more is understanding what you value in this life. What are your principles? What are the things that are non-negotiable for you? If you don't know, take time to sit down and just write them out. Like, what are those things that I stand by regardless? That is a good way of figuring out who you are, because once you have a set of values and principles like set in stone, that's your anchor. That's almost like your cornerstone, along with the things that make you different. That's like the foundation that will keep you stable. That will keep you from being influenced by other people who will try to change who you are or change how you see yourself. Go back to that root, find it, keep it down in here. And anything that tries to rock you away from that tries to keep you off kilter from that, know that it's not for you. But yeah, that was just what I really wanted to talk about. It's just been heavy on my mind lately because I don't know, I think I've been speaking to a lot of people in my personal life about this subject, and I've realized that a lot of people have been feeling this way about the people around them, just feeling like these people want to be around them, but they're almost like only wanting to be around them with conditions of them suppressing who they are, and it doesn't feel good to be around that, and you shouldn't be around that. And so I hope this video helped. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have gone through this or you're currently going through this with someone and how you're dealing with it. Also, make sure to turn on post notifications. Follow me on TikTok if you're not already. Follow me on Instagram. I made a new account. Y'all can DM me over there. I usually get back to just about everyone. It might take me a while, but I read my DMs. And that's it. So I'll see you guys later. Stay safe. Bye.